I definitely agree that both parties need it. I even think that a lot of times women don't realize. Oh wow, thank you so much, Eugene, for the super chat. Sorry guys, I want to acknowledge this. Thank you. It says these real women need to knock it off. Tell the truth, Eugene. They be giving me a headache. I'm like, y'all hurting my head. Like, I don't understand. We Juggernaut Entertainment LLC, thank you so much for the super chat. It says you will submit to your male boss who underpays you, your male doctor who. Okay, hold up now, hold up. Juggernaut, hold up now.
Sound
You don't went there. You don't went there. I wasn't ready to go there yet, but we're gonna have to time out on that one. I'm gonna bring that one back up in just a second. Let me finish this thought, then we're gonna have to address that super chat because you don't went there. Okay, you went there. I do agree that both parties need it. Okay, I do agree that, especially as a woman, like who is a certain, like, of course I'm gonna say that. I would even go as far to say that a lot of women don't even understand that they need it. They are in that same pocket that they treat it like it's a want. They weaponize it. They, oh well, I'm mad at you, so you can't have none, and I'm this and I'm that, and like a lot of women do that, right? A lot of women operate from that mindset. A lot of women.
It's not that they don't know we need it. A lot of men forgot what we need it for. We use it for recreational use, fun time now. But good vagina, a good woman, to put your scepter in, it like I said the other day about them being like the earth. Imagine planting your scepter, your seed, in bad soil. You think it's gonna feel good? Imagine putting a tree in the ground. You're gonna plant a tree in the ground, right? But you put it in radioactive, polluted earth. You think it's gonna keep growing, or is it gonna die off? It's gonna die off.
Also, will be like, oh, I have a headache or whatever. They run from it. Again, literally and figuratively, they're running from it. But a lot of women who even operate that way don't understand how much they need it. And a lot of times, they will be saying no, 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 no. And then once they get it, and they have, that space with their partner, then they feel so different. They move different. The confidence that they were lacking, they have the confidence back. They're happy again. They be miserable all the time at the office. They come back to work. Everybody in the office is like, oh my gosh, like, what happened to you?
One good back blowing. Change all that attitude.
But then they will go right back and villainize it again. It's crazy. A lot of women don't realize that everything that they're wanting, this is some real bitch, y'all. This is some real. Okay.
Preach.
Don't forget to hit that like button. If you didn't hit it now.
I feel on that. It's
and if
like,
you're not
damn.
subscribed, come on.
You feel me?
Okay, work with me. Work with me.
You feel me?
A lot of women don't understand that the things that they are looking for from their partner, the validation that they're looking for, the connection that they're looking for, the connection, the confidence builder,
sound horns.
that feeling love and feeling this and feeling that walking in their feminine power with their head held high, shoulders back, strutting, can't tell them nothing, is all tied in to that sex. All of it. A lot of y'all be crying, miserable, sad, upset, can't figure out why this, can't figure out why that.
She's a woman, so, you can't say it's a man. You're making it up.
not this, he's not that. All tied up in that intimacy. You bottling yourself up and don't realize that on the other part of this hill that you do not want to partake in is an attitude adjustment. Is a perspective changer. Like,
A better life.
a lot of y'all don't understand that. You're
A whole better life.
The only person that is hurting your relationship, but it's emotionally harming yourself because you need it too.
Duh. Sound horns, long
There's
range.
some women that when they don't have it, their brain goes haywire. Okay, they can't think straight.
You just get angry.
They just be saying
Cranky.
anything, be doing anything. They're argumentative. They're walking around the house with an attitude. Like they
Mad,
can't figure
gorilla.
out why. And after that, all of a sudden,
Like you need
their vision
something.
becomes clear. All of a sudden, everything makes sense. They're structured. They can focus. They can do this. They can do that. Like they can get things done because this has happened. Men are very straightforward. Okay, they're not as complex. Their mind is not as complex as the female mind. The male mind is not as complex as the female mind. And in what regard, I'm going to explain to you. Women overthink. Women will grab information and throw it in their mind to focus on to stress themselves out.
Yep.
Men are very straightforward. If they're thinking about this, it's because it's deserving to be.
That's a problem in the black culture. You see, when yous don't have a father in the household and yous begin to have this I'm the man stuff and the woman, and yous begin dominating your sons in your weird ways, yous begin to make your sons have mentalities like a woman. And then yous think it's cute because you look at it as, all right, I gotta make sure that he doesn't do what other men did to me. So I'm gonna make him a nice boy and always respect women and all the da-da-da, right? But you forget all the times you destroyed a man. And you forget that you're not a good woman. That's just your imagination. And when you raise this boy up to look at all women as queens, and he runs into you, and then you destroy him because he wasn't good enough, or he's on the come up and he does got some money, and you're like, yeah, we gonna get this nigga for that, and then I'm gonna go with the nigga that do got money. Y'all just be destroying your own sons and don't realize it. See this shit? We talking about sex. Get it? This sex conversation and why good sex is needed, and why men need to train themselves how to have good sex, and women need to stop having so much sex so when they do get good sex, they don't run around like a fucking idiot thinking, I'm gonna get better. Because you're not. There's not a lot of guys out here that's gonna have that. And when he has that, it doesn't make him a good person. I'm sure a lot of you's learned that lesson now. And you know, it's just like the money thing. And money don't make you a good man. Good sex don't make you a good man. It's what you do with the things you have. If you have the power to have good sex, what do you do with it? Run around with everybody? Well, you have good sex, but you're not a good man. Get it? It's just like a woman. If she has good sex and she gives it to everybody, she's not wifey. She's jump around. Now, unfortunately, life's not fair. And there's a lot more women than there are men. So, you know, in the end, in the overall collective of things, women are going to suffer because men will just get what they can. But that era is ending because women are like, no, I'm not going to be that woman that you could just get. You're going to have to, you know, do something. And I could respect that. I can't hate on women for saying, all right, well, there are good men, but sound the horns. There are good men, but you niggas is corny. You niggas is fat. You niggas is skinny. I get it. I'm not here to fucking cast stones and not throw one in my own face. See, that's the great thing about me. I like to cast stones at people, but I don't hide. That's the fucking difference. If I cast a stone at you, you know I do it. And then, that same stone that I threw at you is because I threw it in my own face first and then said, fuck it, didn't hurt that bad. So now I'm gonna throw this motherfucker in their face and maybe it'll wake their ass up too. So now back to this. It all goes full circle. Women searching for this warrior cock and a $1 million man at the same time is leading you down this road. Men not raising themselves up to the best of what they can, not the best of what the world. No, try to be better than you. And so when you get her, she's like, wow, I like the best of him. Anyway, that leads to the sex thing, because no matter what side you're on a table, we all want to have good sex, because we're in the modern time now where our forefathers civilized the world and they built all these things, and we don't have to fight the fucking wilderness every day. We don't have to farm in all these other things and die. So now we get the luxury of activating our brains and saying being with somebody for the rest of your life can be more than just we're gonna fight against nature and all God's thunderous wrath, and we're gonna survive and hopefully have kids and stuff and not worry about I love you. No. Did you make sure that like you cleaned the dishes in the house so we don't have germs, so my children don't die? So, you know, like their brains don't get fucked up, because, you know, these things affect your brain. Getting sick over and over as a kid's not a good thing. You don't get to develop. This is why we need to be clean. This is why we need to be taught. This is why all these things, right? Now, this is how it all goes back to sex. Because women they're in the world with us. We like Kev and all these other men said, we made the world so great that now it's different to the level of we're not hunting and gathering and all that. So now the mind's expanding on, well, being with somebody for a long time, because we live longer. Most people were dying at 20, 30, 19. You know what I mean? You just don't understand that being older to people now is you're 40 and you're 50, and being old back then was you're fucking 25. You were 30. You were dead after 30. There was no 40 and 50-year-olds back in the day where I'm talking about. Nobody made it that long, dog. Everybody was getting, we talking about the real times where y'all don't understand what people had to do to get us where we are. So we can have these freedoms of, wow, I have time to actually love a woman. I don't have to break my back every second of every day and worry about things. Now, since we have this time, we have indulged, we have created, we men have mastered things, and then we talk and we make money off it or whatever. So then other people get to expand their minds, and now they learn about things. And once a woman learns about something, if it's pleasing to her life, you know, you're just gonna want it, just like a man. Now, when it comes to the area of sex, so many good relationships I've heard of got broken up because of that. And the number one thing I realized is it doesn't even matter sometimes if you do have good sex, right? Say both people have good sex, or it's usually just one, or you're there together and then one grows or whatever, some shit like that. But it's like we get used to each other, especially when you're more experienced and you just come to the table with everything you got because you want to please this person. You want to have good sex with them so they stay with you. But that very same act to be the very same thing, it's a balance, because if you give too much, well, then they get used to it, and your best ain't to sound the horns. It's so crazy how the horns go off. And that's where the balance is. where we, as this new lost ass breed of people, we have to learn this balance of it ain't always supposed to be good, and how do we find that balance where we give people a benefit of the doubt on actually staying with them and not, oh, the sex wasn't good, maybe it could be better. Now if it can't be, I get it, but I see so many women leave, or even men. It's what we, I guess, niggas cheat for. What the fuck else besides being nagged to death, and that usually gets the dick. You, you're done. So it's all what is it that we're chasing? Though? What is it that, like, what's so great about sex? Oh yeah, because it unleashes endorphins in your brain, drugs. See, my father made your brain like a factory, and when you do certain things, and you do, like, we get chemical reactions, right? Now, I wonder what happens when we do it the right way. I wonder what kind of feeling and chemical reaction you get then. Is that the movie making love and all these things that people describe in these books that the rest of the world seem to can't have a grasp on or actually get? Maybe people can't actually get it because they're not actually trying. Maybe because people actually don't have in their head, I want to be the best to somebody and not just someone be the best to me in bed. Or actually picking somebody you're attracted to. That's where the low value standards of picking just for money and all these things. See, it's like a double-edged sword. It's the yin and yang effect. Men and women, but women get to pick automatically who you're gonna talk to. So you start the whole symbiotic bond of being together, but we ultimately get to control if you're staying or not. And it's obviously important. I think sex is more important than the money issue of, oh, there's not enough high value men and or the high value men saying there's not enough women, or good men like me saying I need a woman on my level, because my level ain't about money. It's just mentally I'm actually giving a shit about the person and wanting to be better. It's not about cosmic love and all of that, and I believe I have that within me because you learn things and then you're like, oh, I want to try this, or I have done this and heard these results. So, but it ain't about that for me. It's more of for the people. What is everybody really doing? I don't get it. Like, I've been out the market with the game. I've been off the game for a while, so it's like, I don't know. But when I jump back in the game, you know what I mean? Like, you're rusty or whatever, but I ain't getting no complaints. And then I thought back to myself, like, should you teach things like that? Like, should you teach about sex? Because a lot of people don't. And, you know what I mean? You seem like a goofy ass nigga sometimes with the Goku and Vegeta and all that. But I be really thinking, like, do niggas know? Do women know about certain things where it's like, yo, do you understand did the fucking nature of your mind? Like, I'm not the guy that talks I got the game and the talk and I got the body and I'm the guy that's trying to make people understand your mind. To feel these feelings, it starts with your mind. And if you don't actually mean it, you're not gonna get it. Like, that's why some men are really good and others are not. Because they're not confident. They never achieved things. They never learned things. They never started to the process. They think it's just men are whatever. And I don't believe that. I believe that the Lord blesses everybody with something. You know what I mean? Because we all come in different shapes and sizes, obviously, and that's usually what women complain about. But through my adventures of living life and talking to women, honestly, I've heard women not complain about that and be like, no, I don't like the fucking mandingo guys. And it's just ridiculous. sound the horns. Because they're not built for that. They don't have a crater. Like, and it's not even that they have a lot of sex or not. Some women, like, don't. Do women or men know that some of y'all it ain't deep. Some of yous are shallow. Like, you shouldn't even have a horse. Because, like, you know what I mean? Your guts, he really gonna hurt you. Like, you need a little Pina Wiener. And that's when I read Sound the Horns. That's when I realized, when I learned things like this off watching, like doctor things about, you know, learning about what the woman's body is and how, you know what I mean, so I could be better sexually and, you know, things like that. I learned that, and I said, oh, they really ain't all the same. They really come different, just like we do downstairs. Like, some of us big, some of us small. Well, some of them is deep and some of them is not. And then all these things go into play. Like, imagine being a woman with a deep vagina, but that's just the way you are, and then you have sex with a man, and then he thinks you're a whore, but that's just that's just natural. Like, and it's like, I'm like, yo, the Lord, we gotta figure out a way to bring the balance to this. Like, I think that's why he had us naked back in the day, because then y'all could just choose right off the rip of what y'all want. Like, really think about it. Like, back in the day, they say we was naked or wore less clothes or whatever the fuck y'all want to get, right? So everybody was more open with it. You could just see it. You know what I mean? You go back to look at the tribal people back in the day that's not so advanced. They ain't worrying about their boobs out or their penis out or nothing like that. And you know, that would with our filth minds, that would destroy our society, though. You know what I mean? Because we can't do that. We don't have the right mind state to live pure like that. So you can do that when you don't have animals and things around in their minds, and they're like, naked woman. But see, they don't have to deal with those, so we have to put clothes on. But the point of what I'm saying is, men and women know we want the same or similar things, and if you get one that's not actually putting in the effort or actually trying, then how are you ever gonna get what you really want? Like, even the Bible says you can't have everything. So it's like, I always look at it as like, you're gonna you gotta have one or the other. What do you like more? Money, or a man that looks good and has time for you, and can do those things that y'all say y'all want to do? Because I hear a lot of women say their dream life is the same thing: take vacations and chill and shit, be mom, be a wife. Rich dudes, they're making money and they don't have time. They're living life. They're doing things. They're creating a world and shit. They're being demigods. They have people to rule over and decisions to make and shit. Average, that means you don't have time. Like I say about my father, he's busy all the time. He's shaking and baking without moving now. He don't need to move. He's that smart. And it seems like we've already been hit our elders with every erotic class in the world. Like, there's all types of classes for sex and all this. But what about the actual good people that want to experience love making and different things like that? And, you know, things where you're trying to keep your family together, and you go to counseling and they actually tell you, like, yo, do y'all even have good sex anymore? Because it's like everybody forget these little things. It's like, it's weird to me. Maybe because I'm not in a relationship for a long time now. But it's more like, when I hear people talk about it, it's just like, I ask questions, or I don't hear people give certain answers on their the videos online, or like when I talk to people personally, I ask questions like, do you try to perform with this person that you say that you're in a bad relationship now because you're bored? Because we're all going to get bored of each other if you're not growing. See, that's why most relationships get boring mentally first, is because you learn everything about each other real fast, because we're all taught to be up each other's asses and not be busy, or fuck nigga, pretend to be busy, or don't be busy and just have your own space, your own time where you want to do your own thing. Since we're not programmed like that, we're programmed to like follow each other and do stupid shit like always want to be everywhere with each other, check the phones and be up each other's ass. They don't give you no free time or to be yourself and then learn things on your own, and then have time to, talk about things that they don't know because they their own person and they go do their own thing. Once you become one with each other and not actually know how to separate but still be joined, then you're going to have problems, because you're going to get used to each other, because you know everything about each other. You don't do nothing new without each other being there. So there's no more like when you first met. Remember when you first met? The sex was trash anyway. Y'all niggas wasn't going in. Y'all was lasting like a couple minutes, but y'all liked each other. The conversation was stimulating. Their face was new. Everything was new. So when y'all did get it busy, it was just so much better, because you had this heightened feeling, because it's the way you did things. It's the way you do things. But that's what I mean by levels. And we're not taught, sound the horns, we're not taught these things, or at least I don't see, we're not taught these things. If we were, a majority of people would be performing better, or lessening what they want. Right? Because it's a dream then. Like, because a lot of women want Mr. whatever. And I'm like, it's funny that all y'all complaining about it, and then don't y'all see the average truth that that type of dude ain't